Good morning. I thought I would film a quick video today as what I'm seeing here, painting the eyes on some of my models. I thought I would tell the story of how I got into 3D printing, as I feel like I haven't really discussed that before. I got into 3D printing thanks to my partner back in, I think, 2021. I feel like it was. He's into tabletop gaming, and he decided to get a resin printer to paint like models and stuff like that, because the resin printers are a lot better for painting models, like the details in models and stuff. And so, like, before then I was never really interested in 3D printing before. I didn't really know a great deal about it. Like, I think I heard like a thing or two, but never really was interested in it. But my partner was, thanks to tabletop gaming. So he went and bought a printer, and I can't quite remember when, but it was in 2021 that he did that. Eventually it obviously came and we got it all set up and whatnot. I helped him out a little, and yeah, I had a go. Like, I found some models that I wanted to print. I think it was mainly just custom keycaps and stuff, because I have like a mechanical keyboard and stuff. And yeah, I just had an absolute blast with it. Except my partner was very much like, oh, you can't print during the day because of the UV and this and that. And yeah, and I just got, I guess, frustrated by the amount of rules and the safety precaution of things. Because if you don't know, resin is actually harmful. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like use gloves or respirators, and I've never had an issue, but resin's the kind of thing where you'll be fine until you're not, and then you'll be stuck with it. So it's best just to limit the exposure as much as possible using like respirators and gloves and stuff. And so yeah, I said to my partner, like, because I think by that point I knew a little bit. I didn't know a great deal, but I was aware of FDM printing. And I was like, I know nothing about printing. Can you pick out a printer? I want it to be as easy as possible. I want it idiot proof. I'm happy to spend a little bit more if it means getting an easier printer to work with. So he looked around and he went with an Anycubic Viper. It had auto bed leveling. It had the PEI bed plate, so insert the glass. And yeah, so we went ahead and ordered it with some filament, and I think it came literally Christmas Eve, funnily enough. And so yeah, got it all set up. Was it Christmas Eve or was it Christmas Eve? I don't know, it came very close to Christmas that felt like Christmas Eve. So in my mind it's always been Christmas Eve. So yeah, got started, printed like a bunch of cool stuff, or like, I say a bunch of cool stuff, but it's like all the stuff with Thingiverse, because I feel like when we all get into 3D printing, especially when I first started, everyone started with things like Thingiverse. And then yeah, they went from there. And then I think it must have been about March. No, it was February. I think by that point I had started thinking of selling stuff because I wanted to pay for the filament. Because I don't want to say I didn't have a lot of money, but a lot of the money I had, I was putting aside for bills and stuff. So I was like, if I sold some stuff, then I could use that money to buy filament. Because the other thing is too, like filament, it really adds up, and like you can buy like a roll. I mean, a roll of filament at the time I think was maybe $30. But like when you buy like one roll, when you want like 6 different colors, it adds up. And some of the cooler filament also too can go for like for 30 or can go for up to like $40-50. So yeah, it can get quite expensive. Like even though a roll of filament is, at the end of the day, isn't, I guess, that expensive, it does add up very quickly. And I think I had also, it's about the time that Cindering released Crystal Dragon that got very popular. And I think I'd somehow discovered Flexi Factory around the same time. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell on Etsy. And I'm going to sell like the stuff. And yeah, and that'll pay for my filament. And yeah, so that's how I started selling. But then I just decided a year later so that was 2022. And then I decided, because I still am not the best at the whole online sales. That is something I need to work on, honestly. And I still do, like I said, still need to work on to this day. I was, like I said, bad at the time. And so I decided at the start of 2023, I decided to start doing markets. My first one was a local one here where I live in March. It just took a little bit because my local market, you have to apply for and then get approved before you can attend. And so yeah, I started doing markets, and then I think I've just been to a few, funny story, there's a few like 3D printers in the area, and they all seem to have started around the same time. Or started doing markets around the same time as me. But they all do different markets to me. And then I think eventually I've since decided to move away from doing Etsy. I mean, I still have an Etsy, but it's mainly, I think I have one thing up on Etsy, and it's an STL file. So an STL file is pretty much the kind of file that you use to send to your printers. And so yeah, I only really have that on Etsy. Now everything is either at markets or on my own personal or my own personal website, which I think is pretty cool. I've had that for a couple of years now, maybe two years, maybe. I want to say 2 years, but I could be mistaken. But it's been good fun. I've met lots of cool people thanks to it, made lots of friends. In that time, I think about last year, about October, so October 2024, I actually started trying to make a few of my own files. I, funnily enough, don't have anything near me. Usually I do. I've made like a few of the keycap things, and I've made like a unicorn head and like the letters of the alphabet. I've actually released those all, so I've printed them and I've sold them at the markets, and I've also released the STL files on Cults 3D, so you can buy them if you're interested. So that was pretty exciting. I've also more recently, what have I made more recently? I started making like a dice tower, like a D20 dice tower. That is still very much a work in progress. I've also am trying to print a Love Heart, like Trinket box type thing as well, along with a mushroom similar thing. So I'm certainly like what started off as like a thing to make a little bit of extra money have certainly grown. And like I said, I'm now making my own STF files, and when I first started, I never thought I would be doing that, but I'm actually really enjoying it, and I wish I got into it a bit sooner because it's lots of fun. It's actually really cool to like have an idea pop in your head and it actually come to fruition, and seeing it play out and actually work and be like a functional thing. It's really cool, and like I can't wait to start making more of my own models. Because like as much as I do love like the dragons that Cindering puts out, because I'm not subbed to Flexi Factory anymore, and I haven't for a while, but I am still subbed to Cindering, and I love her stuff. But I do feel like these days every Tom, Dick and Harry are printing dragons and stuff, so I'm looking for like a few new and different things to sell, to print and sell at markets and stuff. So, but I mean, my biggest challenge is always coming up with ideas that is within my skill set to actually like design. Because like I do feel like I'll get better with time, but like if I'm not messing around or designing stuff, like I'm never going to get better, but I never know what to mess around and make. So that is certainly challenging. But yeah, no. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say, so I hope you enjoy today's rambling video. Thank you very much.